Good morning everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I would like to start right here at these potatoes because I want to show you what a difference moving them has made. Let's see, I moved them a little over a week ago and they have already taken off so much, and they've almost caught up to the potatoes that were coming up first. I cannot believe how big these potatoes have grown in just a week. They've already pretty much caught up to the others, and they're ready to be mounded up with soil or straw. They just look so healthy and so big, and I am very happy with the decision I made to move them. They were right over there on the other side of those black totes, and even now the entire garden is in the sun and that spot is still shaded. So I am very happy with the decision that I made to pull them over here. Right next to the potatoes, we've got a row of asparagus that we've just transplanted. All of this was growing volunteer in different beds in our garden. So as we were cleaning up the beds, getting ready to plant, we decided that we were going to go ahead and transplant them into their own row. They've been doing really well. I've been trying to keep them watered so they stay alive, and some of them have even continued to put up new shoots that they're the size that we could harvest them. So I've been very happy with how they transplanted, because I know this is probably not the best time of year to do that, but as long as we keep them watered, I think they're going to make it. We'll just keep coming around. This is the first garlic that I planted, and it's looking really good. It's getting so big. I do notice some of the tops are starting to fall over, and some of the leaves are starting to turn brown. So that tells me that it's getting close to ready to harvest. Here's one more volunteer asparagus coming up that we didn't catch. I guess we weren't cleaning this bed out, so we didn't get this one transplanted, but we will. Okay. More garlic. Again, it's looking really nice. We've got 3 different beds of green beans planted. Now, these are provider green beans, and the reason that I planted so many at the very beginning is I'm hoping to have all of my green bean canning finished before I have to start canning tomatoes, to spread the work out a little bit. Then we'll be able to enjoy fresh green beans throughout the summer. It can get a little chaotic when everything is ready at the same time. I think that the green beans are looking really good. There's a few I've seen that haven't come up. Right there, it looks like there's a couple missing. And then we have to come over here through the trellis. Here's 2 more rows of the same green beans. And then this is the biggest bed. This is a 4x8 bed, and I've got 3 rows of green beans in here, and they're all looking really nice. So this trellis, this is the same trellis that we had our lima beans growing on last year. And this year I've planted a row of cucumbers on both sides. Before the cucumbers grow up and start shading it out, this bed of green beans will already be done and harvested. So if it gets too shady for them, we can just rip these out and maybe plant something different. But we should be able to get a good harvest of beans off of them before our cucumbers get too big and make too much shade for them. This bed obviously has our asparagus in it, and obviously I have missed picking asparagus for a few days. This is way too tall and we have a weed problem, but we've still been able to harvest a lot of asparagus out of here. Now, these are the potato bins that they were doing so well just right off the bat. They came up. They need mounded up with soil also because they're getting too tall. we really need to get that done. It's on the list for this weekend. And this bed, oh my goodness, I think they have grown overnight. They were not this full and dense last night when I checked them. They look wonderful, and I can't wait to see what kind of a harvest we get. This is our first bed of tomatoes. These are Salvaterra's Select tomatoes, and it's a new variety we're trying this year as a paste tomato. We've been using a variety called Blue Beach, and I just haven't been as happy with it. They are really susceptible to blight, and it seemed like they've just been struggling. So in here, I've got bell peppers, and my goal is to have enough peppers to not have to buy any while we're canning this summer, our salsa and stuff this summer. So we've got 5 bell peppers here, and then we've got 2 more here. This pepper I'm really excited about to try. It's called a habanado pepper, and it's supposed to have the taste of a habanero pepper, but without the heat. So I'm hoping that I will actually be able to eat some of these peppers and try them, because habaneros are way too spicy for me. And then let's see, these behind me are shishito peppers, and I am trying them for the first time this year also. And then I've got 3 jalapenos. I did also start 1 cayenne pepper plant, and I am going to put it over in my medicinal herb garden. I did not want to put the cayenne peppers in the main garden because I didn't want one of the kids to walk by and grab one and take a big bite out of it. So I'm going to keep our cayenne pepper separate. The last part of the garden to show is our 2 tomato beds. We've got a 3x10 bed. We've got 4 celebrity tomatoes there. And then this is our long bed, and it is 3x24 feet. And we've got 9 celebrity tomatoes in this bed. So far, they're looking really great. I've got marigolds interplanted with my tomatoes. That is supposed to be a companion plant for tomatoes, and it's supposed to help with tomato hornworm. I know one year I did not plant them, and we did have hornworms, but we've also had them on years that we've planted marigolds. So maybe it helps, but I don't know that it just solves the problem. So I actually planted more marigolds this year than I normally do, thinking maybe I just wasn't planting enough marigolds in with my tomatoes. So we'll see how that works. Right now, I'm really happy with how everything looks. It's doing really well, and it's growing, and I really just love watching the changes in the garden as I find them. And it seems like every day there's something changing in the garden. Our cottage garden is still very much a work in progress, but I do want to go ahead and show you the work that we've gotten done inside. I'm so happy with how it's coming along. So right as you walk through the first trellis, this is my David Austin Rose Claire Austin. I'm so glad that it's been doing well. I've been keeping a close eye on it, and I'm really happy with how it looks. Then right as you walk through, the first bed has some herbs in it. The very tall plant here, this is yarrow. And then next to it, I've got thyme. And then these are some volunteer calendula. And I have a couple of volunteer dill plants coming up as well. Now, around the perimeter of the garden, I'll just start here. This is rhubarb. In the back corner with the kind of round leaves, that is a hollyhock. And then all of these are volunteer sunflowers. We had sunflowers planted in here last year, and I guess I didn't realize how many seeds actually fell. and they are completely overtaking this garden. Tucked in here is some oregano, and then intermingled with the sunflowers on this side is another pound of garlic that I planted, and it was planted much later, so it's not going to be ready for a while. But these sunflowers, oh, they're just out of control, and I do not have the heart to pull them, but I really need to get rid of some of them. This plant with the kind of pointy leaves, that is a purple coneflower or echinacea plant that I transplanted from a different part of the garden to here. This first tomato is called an early doll, and it is supposed to mature in 55 to 60 days. And if you take a look under here, I don't know if you can see well. I don't know if I can get it to focus. There are some blooms on this tomato, and that's so exciting. And then we've got a brandywine planted, 2 cherry tomatoes here. And then the flowers all around these tomatoes are calendula. And then in this bed, we've got another brandywine that needs a cage. And it looks like somebody has tried to plant a sunflower and oregano. And then here's another hollyhock. I only had 2 hollyhocks come up this year, so I'm waiting until they flower and can collect the seeds, and then I'm gonna move them out of here because I don't want them in these beds. Well, as you can see, things are growing really nicely up here as well. I have a lot of work to do in the cottage garden. I have a lot of weeds to pull, but we've been spending all of our time out in the main garden trying to get everything planted and weeded and taken care of out there. And the cottage garden is kind of just on the back burner and while we're working on the main garden. But I do have a few more things to plant in here, some medicinal herb plants. I did not start any basil this year, so I think I'm just going to take some seeds and see if I can get it to grow right in the beds, because I definitely want some basil. But other than that, we're very happy with how everything is going. And I would love to hear what you guys are working on in your gardens, or if you have any questions about what we're working on. If you'd like to, drop me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you guys. I thank you so much for watching, and make sure that you subscribe to the channel because I will be putting out garden tour videos more often. So definitely keep an eye out for those, and I will see you on the next video.